Welcome back to the Max Effort Kitchen podcast. We got a great segment for you. It's called The Athlete and the Chef. So sit back, relax, and let's go. All right, welcome to the Max Effort Kitchen podcast. We are live on Saturday, the 7th. I think that's the day. I am coming straight from training. Cornell, I think you're coming straight from shooting. So this should be a fun show.
Yeah,
I'm liking it. Yeah. I had a thought over the weekend, and or maybe it was over the week. I don't know. Well, it was recently. And I was going to pose this question to you and see what you think. And I think it's a pretty easy answer, but we'll see. Do you think that in order to fully, this is so subjective, but be good at weightlifting, it's an equation of the amount of reps that you have stacked versus the amount of times you've competed. Like, I'm trying to think, like, is there an equation, or is it just random, or is it just like what do you think about that? Like, we've talked about like the sweet spot of the window of like I'm kind of in my 8th year. You said that kind of happened with you, but like, is there a mathematical equation of like what it takes to be good at this sport?
I just listened to another podcast the other day, and they were very blunt about some stuff, but I will expand more on that in a little while. But
yeah,
I think, well, I can just expand on that a little bit now. They basically said there's some people who just have it and some people who don't.
Yeah.
And they're like, not trying to be a dick here, but there's some people who like they said, if you have the talent for it, for the most part, if you don't have the talent, but you have the training mentality and you're able to push and all that kind of stuff, but you really don't have the talent, you're not going to end up being good. And they were talking about it from like trying to make it international team / Olympics, that view.
Yeah.
I think that if we kind of take that out, it is very true that like someone who's just naturally good at something is going to be much better at it without trying too hard. But I would say that someone who is naturally good at it, they don't have to work that hard to do it. So it probably won't keep their attention as long.
Well, and that's funny because you've told a story on this show before about an old teammate that was like that. And I was kind of going through some podcasts last night and kind of just listening and, just doing a little bit of like checks and balance on the show and the quality and all that. And I listened to the story you told about the guy that came in automatically was jumped up and was lifting a bunch. You talk to the coach, you're like, this guy's not going to be done, or he's not going to stick around. And then next thing you know, he just quit the whole sport altogether because it was too, I hate to say too easy, but it seemed like it.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm like, because, we see people come into the sport and it's mainly youth lifters that I've been seeing lately that are just putting up some massive numbers. Now, I don't know how long I've never done the research on how long they have trained and all that, but a youth lifter can't have more. How many years really can a youth lifter have under their belt? So, but like, it's really interesting on whether like, I would love to see like a mathematician go at this and be like, okay, what can we figure out some sort of generalized statement of what it takes to be good at this sport? Because I know other sports have that. Like there's a generalized equation of what you need to do in order to excel. And we see that a lot with like when you have like an NFL player who maybe your dad played in the NFL, and then next thing you know, the son comes up and plays. And that's it's not a God-given talent. I think that to me, it's a they know the equation on how to get into the NFL. So it's like, how and what, like, is there a equation, or is this sport so damn random that it matters? You either got it or you don't.
I think there's just a combination of a handful of things where I don't necessarily think if you have the right mindset, you don't have to compete to get good at this sport. But
Right.
at the same time, this sport is competing. So that's why when I say I've retired from weightlifting, but I'm not retired from lifting weights,
Mhm.
I basically just said I'm done chasing the total. I'm done chasing the competition. I'm not trying to sound like, oh, I'm never going to beat my old numbers. So
Right,
what's
right.
the point in trying? But it's also like, why am I going to put my body through that hell when I can kind of figure out ways to cut stuff back and hopefully be able to do this longer?
Yeah.
I was going to say something, but
Yes.
if you look at, like, let's say Clarence Kennedy, or
Mhm.
like there's a handful of people, he's kind of, I don't want to say he's washed up now. He's not weightlifting anymore, but Girth Brooks.
Yeah.
Like some of these guys were unbelievably good at weightlifting. I mean, Clarence Kennedy, I was listening to something the other day and they were talking about, like, oh, remember those old Clarence videos where it was like 11 attempts to snatch 190? And it's like 11. Imagine missing a squat at 190 and trying it 11 times. Like, now let's switch that to snatching. So,
Yeah, no.
but if you look at those people, like, they didn't. I think that competing gives you a goal and it gives you something to push towards, and then as soon as it's done, then you're like, okay, I accomplished that. What's next? But I get to take a break right now. So I think that that's definitely a good part of it, and I think that it helps you. But I think for the most part, if you're going to do this sport, you're going to compete.
Yeah.
And if you're going to compete, you should compete often so that competing becomes not a big deal.
Yeah, and that, and I really think that is something that is maybe in some circles it's talked about a lot, but I think overall it's not talked about enough, of like just competing, stacking up the competitions, because the more you do that, the easier it gets. Even like, say, I'm going to go rewind back to 2024 Masters Nationals. I hadn't competed in almost a year, and it was hard.
Mhm.
And my numbers weren't, they were okay, but they weren't great. And it opened my eyes of like, okay, you know what? Like, I don't need to only compete nationally. I'm a big, like, local meet guy. I love local meets. I think they're fun. I think we should support local meets more than we do the nationals. But like, I just, there's so many different like angles you can take, and then you throw in the variable of the athlete and say, or the person lifting the bar. You don't even, maybe not even call them an athlete, but the person lifting the bar is like that's the biggest variable right there. And this kind of this was sparked because I've been making some connections with people in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, something that the streaming, those WSOs have done is they've allowed me to kind of get in front of people that I have always seen in this sport but never really talked to. And last night Alana and I were talking. She's like, if I wanted to do weightlifting, what I should probably just join a team, right? And I was like, well,
yes, just not mine.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's what she was like. I would join like somebody else's team and have them train me. And like I was like, yeah, that's the right way to go. I go, but the one thing that you got to remember, and no shade on my wife, but like, she is a very much a person that if she's not good at something, she gets disappointed easily. And I'm like, bro, I go, if you're going to do weightlifting, you better understand that you're not going to be great at it for a while. And that's just all there's to it. you're going to get a good coach. You're going to get somebody who can teach you. You're going to, do all your stuff. And then she's like, what if I don't want to compete? And I was like, well, then why do it? You get out there, compete. And I thought in my brain, I didn't say this out loud, but like, why do
She's
this
hearing
sport?
it right now.
I know she is. I'm not saying anything I didn't really say to her. So, it's like, why not want to compete? Like I think, and we talked about this a little bit last time. I think that's what gets you. That's what sparks. That's like, oh, I just did that. That was fun. People cheered for me. I had a good time. They weren't worried about if I was lifting the plastic weights versus, what everybody else was lifting. Like, people cheer for you. And that's all there's to it.
Yeah.
Like,
I would say though, as being in the position I've been in for quite some time with new athletes and coaching people.
Yeah.
I never tell people you have to compete.
Yeah.
I will say, I think it'll be good for you, but like that, if I wouldn't want to tell someone like, you have to compete if you're going to do the sport, I'd be like, no, just do the sport. If you decide you want to compete, then go for it, but you don't have to. Because I think that if you told someone like, hey, we want to go learn how to play tennis, cool, we're going to go to a tennis competition. Like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, right.
And you have to wear a bathing suit in front of everybody.
Yeah, and that I see it. I mean, you and I have a mutual friend that when she started, her biggest hang up was the singlet.
Uh-huh.
You know who I'm talking about?
Not off the top of my head, but it's okay. But I know a lot of
Prineville,
okay,
might live in Tennessee right now.
Okay.
But I remember having a conversation with her at one of the camps that we went to.
Okay.
And I was like, why aren't you doing this like more often? Because I think she was teaching CrossFit at the time. And she goes, I don't want to get on in front of everybody in the singlet. It's like, okay, that's legit. I've never heard that before, but that is an interesting thought. And I mean, I don't know, I've never really dealt with that. So that's a whole nother ball game, right?
Yeah.
My lovely wife is pointing out camel toe. Great.
Yeah. That wasn't a moose knuckle. That's what the supers have. All right. So it's funny because this is you asked if I had anything to talk about, and I was like, I think I have something, but
okay.
I listened to a podcast this week and they just gave their opinion, and it was a weightlifting podcast on the enhanced games. And I think that this is just going to be a thing that keeps coming up as we get closer and closer to it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And one of the big things that that I have not seen one person acknowledge, and I think I would like to acknowledge it.
Okay.
They're all saying, I don't think any world records are going to be broken. They're going to take all these drugs and they're probably not going to break any world records. What they're really saying is the people setting the world records are on drugs already. But what I want to look at it as is, let's say that I think Wes Kitt's best snatch is 180 from the floor at a camp. He did it from the blocks or the hang recently.
Yeah.
The world record, I believe, currently it's lower than it since they changed all the weight classes. It's a little bit lower. I think it's 197.
Okay.
He was never able to snatch close to that. He wasn't like getting close to setting a world record to begin with. So if he can go from 180 to, let's say, even 190, he made a 10 kilo improvement with very minor amount of drugs that they're giving them, because they don't want to, they're not blasting them. They don't want someone to get sick or get hurt or have a heart attack. That would be like the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah.
So allegedly, many of these athletes, this is the introduction to drugs. The first bit of drugs is going to make the biggest step. Like the biggest improvement is going to be the smallest amount. So they're on a very small regimented dosage while they're also paying like super attention to all of their blood work and their vital stuff. But if, let's say that Wes could go from, let's say he opens at 185, which would be a PR, 185, 192, and then he goes for that 199 world record. Well, he's a 180 best snatch in, like, not on the platform. And to go to add 20 kilos to that, I think that too many people are looking at just saying they're not going to break world records. Like, well, look at who's potentially getting close to even getting to the world records.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily just about who's going to break them. It's like, how much improvement are these people making? And I'll just say it. Most of these people are washed up older weightlifters who are past their prime.
Mm-hmm.
So if all of a sudden they are now doing this much improvement, then it makes you want to be like, oh, well, what if they were on the enhancements like many of the other countries are? And then it just evened out the playing field.
Wow,
So,
that's a good that's a really neat thing right there.
And it also makes you wonder, like, all right, 197, I believe, is a snatch world record. Probably by I don't know who said it, but probably they're not the cleanest. Like, I'm going to go off of what I know with USAW and how stringent like drug testing is here. So I'm always going to compare to Wes.
Yeah.
But if he did 180 clean at a USAW camp.
Right.
What is that other person able to do if they were never on drugs?
Yeah.
It might not be 180. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe that person is clean, but that's the problem with this sport is there's too much. The only way to really get an even playing field is to let everyone take. You can't even say let people take drugs because it's like, well, how much drugs are people going to take?
Yeah.
I don't think that. Yeah. And if they said you're allowed to have this much testosterone, this much growth hormone, and this much that, people are going to then cheat it and double it. And there's no way for it actually to be a level playing field.
That's an interesting thought, the level playing field.
The only thing that I would say that does make this the USAW/IWF current thing. Okay, I think I figured it out. It just went off my brain.
Okay.
How the dirty countries do it, that's how it should be a level playing field. There should be, for a level playing field, there should be no out of competition testing. You do whatever you want, and then you taper off and you piss clean at the meet.
Yeah.
That would give everyone a level field because now they know that they have whatever the piss window or the detectable window is. They have that many days to get off, and then everyone's going to be off. It's like you're making weight. You're making clean piss. Like
that's I mean that's a really good way of thinking about it. And because I was just about to be like, I don't know if there's such thing as a level playing field, but with certain restrictions like that, where it's like if out of competition testing is no longer a thing, now it's just in competition and everybody gets tested. Like everybody. That's just like
you sign part of your weigh-in.
Yeah, you sign up
during weigh-ins.
Yeah, you weigh in, you get tested. Bam.
But if you just look at the weight classes too, people are weighing, they're cutting 5 to 10 kilos potentially to make weight, and then they have to rehydrate. But the people who don't have to, so that would mean that the people who are on drugs have to taper off. So they're going to come down and they're not going to perform as well. But the natural people who are extremely good at this sport who don't need drugs, they're not going to have any come down, and they're going to be feeling as good as they can. So yeah, that's an interesting thought. You know, I think no matter the system, there's always going to be a sense of trying to cheat it. I think that people are, in sports, it's so competitive that there's people out there that always want to get the upper hand, and that's fine. But I do like the idea of the level playing field. I think that I'm really going to be interested to see what comes from the enhanced games, if it's learning about the proper way to do drugs, or if it's about learning about what works and what doesn't. And what would be interesting if what comes from this is a something similar to what powerlifting does, which is, maybe there's a federation that's untested. Yeah.
That just is always going. I don't think that'll happen, but it would be if somebody was out there thinking about doing that or making that, like, you should probably watch the enhanced games and be very, in tune on what's going on there. I don't know.
I think the only way that'll realistically happen is if like the enhanced games just creates a federation. Because right now they're just creating an event, but they don't have I don't know. I think there's too many people who they like to hide behind I don't want to go on drugs because I want to see what my body can do on its own. And it's like, that's totally fine if that's what you want to do. Because I think that there's a lot of people who they want to hide behind, I've never done drugs. If I did drugs, what if I wasn't that good? Like, I could be this much better if I took drugs. I think there's a lot of people who have that mindset. And I'm not saying people should take drugs. I'm not saying people shouldn't take drugs. I think people should do what they want to do, what they enjoy.
Yeah.
And if you want to take drugs, cool. You're not supposed to compete. What we have all seen is that there's a lot of dirty people in this sport who kind of roll the dice.
They do. They do. And, it's one of those things that like, okay, for instance, I just found out that there's a local person here that I know that got popped, and they got popped for and I can't think of the name of it. It's the estrogen blocker, Androzol. I don't know. Anyways, and I don't.
I think the street name is Bluck-a-Bitch.
Yes, yes. I just thought the person that was telling me the story was like, they didn't own up to it at first and acted like they don't know how it got there. And I'm like, well, that doesn't happen really. Doesn't just get into your system. But where I was going with that is the idea that like, if you want to compete, or if you want to do the things that allow us to have fun in the sport, do what you want to do, but you got to still stick to the regulations of the sport. And if you want to do drugs, but just, it is a risk. It's always against that risk reward thing, right? It's like, I'm going to risk it. And, who knows what's going to happen? I don't know. I don't know what the right answer, and I'm not here to judge anybody either. So, and then it leads to the idea, and this is probably my ignorance with what drugs do and how they work. But like, are there loading periods? Are there, if you do taper off, do you still get the benefits of them? Who knows? And that whole conversation of drugs I like that we're talking about it, because I think that people look at it as such a taboo thing to talk about, and we can't, USA prides themselves in all this like clean lifting and whatever. I just think that we need to drop the ego and be a little bit more educated on it, because then it might become something that is not so taboo, maybe beneficial. I don't know. Yeah. There's so many different ways to look at this.
No, I mean, you can be disqualified for having a belt that's too big. Yeah. You can be disqualified for having thumb tape that covers the tip of your thumb. Like, there's lots of stupid stuff that's out there that, like, that's banned.
Yeah.
It's like, one of the, I'm running a blank on the guy's name, and I can't believe I'm having that blank on it. American lifter out of Northern California who went on drugs and then got popped, and then just posted like, here's what I hit in training. And it was like, I think he would have gotten like second place at Worlds.
Is that the guy that everybody was accusing of the fake weights?
No, this is like, I know it's not Ethan Herrick, but it's, he was like a hassle-free guy.
Okay. I don't know who you're talking about, but that's okay.
Trains in his barn. You know who I'm talking about. He trains in his barn at his dad's house from like when he was a child. Yes. First one, he was like the youngest person before He used to be like the youngest kid to like clean jerk 400 pounds.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. What the fuck is his name? God damn it! I'm
I know.
gonna look it up.
This is what happens when you disappear out of the sport and you just totally disappear, and then
You
forget your
forget names.
So one of our old teammates decided to become online friends with him and just started DMing him all the time. This guy was a very chatty, talkative, like easy to talk to person. And then, so he started opening up to him about all this stuff.
Mhm.
And he goes, when I popped, I was shocked that I popped. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, because I popped for drugs I didn't take. I'm not saying I didn't take drugs.
Really?
I wanted to see what happened. But what the drugs that he got was tainted with other drugs that had longer half-lives. And that's what he ended up popping for.
To see that's an interesting topic because yeah, that's not him. It's an interesting topic because it's like
Ian Wilson.
There it is.
That's it.
Yeah, I looked it up and that's not Marion Jones is not it. No. Yeah, and so the idea. So Ian Wilson's a whole nother ballgame because that guy was a complete beast prior to, and was still a beast afterwards. I don't know. I don't know his history super well, so I'm not going to speak on it. But like, that guy was lifting a shit ton of weight prior to.
Yeah.
So I would be interested in just hearing his story and why, and maybe but like why he decided to do that. Do you know?
Yes, I do.
Oh, cool.
Should I be talking about this? I don't know, but
okay.
Whatever. He was told that through USAW that IWF was changing all the rules and they're cracking down on drug policies and all this kind of stuff, and it's going to be a clean playing field. And they're like, we want you to push really hard for this next quad and this and that. And then he pushed really hard and he sacrificed so much of his body. It just beat to hell.
Yeah.
And then he gets to Worlds in, I think, 2017, and just people are warming up heavier than he's making his third attempts. And he's like, they kept saying this and it turned out to be a complete lie. And they just wanted to push me. And it's kind of like, so then he was just like, you know what? If they're not gonna make it a clean or a even playing field, then I'm gonna come up to their level.
Yeah.
And after he got popped, he released his like actual lifts that he was doing in training, and it was like, I want to say it was 187 or 190.
It was close to 190,
like 230 clean and jerk.
Mm-hmm.
And that would have got him like second place at Worlds that year.
Wow.
And I think that there's just a lot of shady stuff with the governing body.
Mm-hmm.
And Wes Kitts just did a podcast recently on a show called Not in My Box. It's the Caffeine and Kilo owner guy, one of those guys. And Wes did basically a tell-all of what USAW did to him. They fired him. That's what they basically did.
Yeah.
He went to the Olympics for them. He was on a stipend. After the Olympics were done, they reset what the stipend totals needed to be. And he was 1 kilo under what they set it for, 1 kilo over what he made. So he was no longer going to get paid from USAW.
Wow.
And that's why I think he's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder and wanted to join the Enhanced Games, because it was like, all right, fine. Here you go.
Let me go make my money over here because I know I can. That's kind of that's a very corporation business move to do something like that to somebody, of being able to, like, especially Wes Kitts, man, like, how much of his life did he put into weightlifting to represent the United States at the Olympics? How many? Was it 4? How many? No, 2. How many Olympics did he go to? 2 or 3? Yeah, 2. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of years. And to be kind of just tossed aside like that, especially when, like, it's not like he was doing bad. I don't think he was meddling, but that's okay. I mean, I think
someone,
Go ahead.
someone's got to get last place.
Yeah.
And he wasn't, and he wasn't near the top, but he also wasn't completely near the bottom.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a crazy story, and just like that, I did listen to that podcast, and I recommend anybody out there that enjoys West Kits, go listen to that. It's a pretty good one.
The sound is all messed up. I don't know if it was for you.
Yeah, it was a little messed up, but
Yeah, it was messed up. But I was like, I want to listen to this more than I want to be annoyed. So.
Well, overall, I think that the idea that this is a completely clean sport in any nation is wrong. I just think that we need to have a little bit more common sense in that, and understand that, like, if you want to claim the clean sport, then you need to test everybody. And I've said that many times. Everybody should be tested, regardless age, group, what doesn't matter. You want to claim it's a clean sport. You want to put that. It's like when you get something certified, like I know you love everything about LEED certifications, but if you want to get like a building certified to be, energy efficient, you have to go through a series of steps. It's the same thing as an athlete. If you want to say that it's a clean athlete, they have to go through the series of testing to make sure that that's the case, or else you can't have that sticker that says you're clean. That's it.
Yeah. It's almost it's not, but it's almost like saying, hey, sign up for your weight class. We're going to weigh 3 of you.
Yeah. Yeah, right. That's a good point. We're going to randomly weigh 3 people in the session. Everybody else,
we only have enough scales for 3 people.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I think I heard it from Mike Bergner that they used to do the weigh-ins after. So you would go compete, and then they weighed everybody, and then they did their stuff based on like what you weighed in after the meet. So it didn't matter what this was like in like the 30s and 40s. I think it was even before his time, but he was talking to somebody about it. And then I just like whenever I'm at his place, I like to like sit there and just listen to stuff, because I'm like, you don't hear about this from anyone, and this is the guy you'd want to hear it from.
Right.
So, and then that's kind of what led into bodybuilding also, is they would do like a physique show after.
Wow.
Well, like if you knew you had to compete, and because they wanted people, like they just wanted to know how much people weighed after they were done competing, but it's not what you can get down to, it's what you actually weigh.
It's what you actually weigh, which, boy, I talk about that a lot. Like, and we were even talking about that at team practice today, because there's a guy that's in my weight class that's on my team, really awesome dude. And I would say we're probably pretty close in the same. He's 2 years older than me, but we're pretty close in the weights that we're lifting. And I was asking, we're talking about Masters Nationals, and I'm asking him like, hey, what, you lifting at 110? He goes, no, I'm going down to 94. And I was like, all right, cool, dude. What, it's, to me, I've always had success lifting at where my body sits, and I will never change that. I've tried the cut. It just doesn't work for me. I've seen you be very successful at it. I've seen other people not be so successful at it. I've seen people do well I just think it's obviously dependent on the person, but like, I think in our world of amateur weightlifting, not that big of a deal.
I have stuff that I wonder about with my weight cut, with how just my body feels. I feel like my body is kind of like giving up, and it's just like trying to figure out how to survive. I wonder how much of that was me dropping from 108 to 94. Like, and still pushing as hard as I could push, but then just that much more wear and tear by making that cut. I mean, I'm not regretting I made the cut. I wanted to do it. I was tired of weighing what I was weighing. Like, now I can pretty much eat. I've kind of reset my body now, and I can eat kind of whatever I want. I've learned how to live at 99.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Like, you're living about 99 kilos, and you're still under 100.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. I mean, every once in a while after I eat a bunch of food and right before I go to bed, I was convinced I was going to be 101 yesterday, and I jumped on the scale and I was 99.1.
Nice. Nice.
But then like 2 mornings ago, I was 99.2 when I woke up. So I was like, I don't even
Who
care.
knows, right? Who knows? Yeah, I mean, the weight thing, the weight classes, it's just it's a whole gamut of what you want to do as a person in the sport, and if you have success at it, great. If you don't, then at least you know where you need to be. I think with you were, you had lifted really well at a certain range. And if I know you well enough, you're like, hey, what can I do down there? And I don't want to say it was like an experiment, but you wanted, that's part of this thing in the sport that you're doing is like, let's learn, let's have some data, let's put it out there and see what happens. And then we can adjust. And it sounds like that's exactly what you did. And you had some success at it, there's also some question marks, right? Like, yeah.
No, it was, I feel like I succeeded at doing what I was trying to do. But I don't want to I'm at the point where I wouldn't recommend someone else does it.
Yeah.
If someone wants to go up a weight class, I'd be like, cool, you're going to get good. I mean, maybe you're not, back to what we were talking about earlier, you might be like, not super good, but you're going to improve.
You're going to improve.
I've noticed it right. Don't do it quick.
Yeah.
Like go up and weight slowly. Like I would say, don't go up and weight more than like a kilo every month and a half or so. Like if you need to go up 10 kilos, that needs to be close to a year of doing it right. If you do it quicker than that, you don't build muscle that fast. So you're just going to get fat.
Well, and it's kind of a double-edged sword. And I talked about this from my angle of like, I've put on the average about 3 kilos, and I've had some really good lifting, and I'm not going to attribute all my good lifting to my body weight. I think it's a piece of the pie or a piece of the puzzle there, but I can tell you on the days that I'm not lifting and I'm just every day kind of living, it doesn't feel great. Sure. I would rather live around 99 or 100 kilos. But I do know that at 104, I'm lifting I'm lifting well. I'm moving well. I have the energy I need. And I'm probably going to sit here until my body says, hey, we're either going to go up or go down. Because the thing about me specifically is I don't know. People have opinions about this. I don't care. I don't follow my macros. I'm not like out there like making sure I'm getting every gram of protein I possibly can. I'm eating a balanced diet. I'm eating probably 4 to 6 meals a day. Do I eat more than the average person? Absolutely. People at work look at me like I'm a freaking animal, but to me, I'm like, I'm just eating because my body needs it right now. But I'm not doing anything scientific. I do think the creatine intake that I have been doing has helped in my body weight, because I bet you I could put money on it. The second I stop creatine, I will drop 2 kilos, just like that. And that is what it is. But I really there's nothing scientific about it. I am just lifting to where my body is sitting based off of how I'm eating. So, but if you want to cut weight to see what it's all about, cut weight, man. It's do what you want in this damn sport.
Yeah.
Don't listen to anybody.
I'm looking up my lifts, my stats right now. Come on, internet, you suck.
It really does suck right now. Hey, while you're looking that, oh wait, did you find it?
Yeah. Well, I have it here, but I'm like clicking on stuff and hitting search, and then it's just like, hey, you pushed a button, but it's not doing anything for me yet. So keep going.
I was going to say, on the topic of gaining weight, my wife did something really cool with food this last week, where she took like 4 chicken breasts, 3 or 4 chicken breasts, threw it in the crock pot, like 2 or 3 bell peppers, some onions, and just let it go. I think some like fajita seasoning, let it go all day. We shredded it up and put it in a container in the fridge. And like literally, it's been the most amazing, like, burrito, or maybe it's a quesadilla or whatever. But like, I can't tell you how much I love having that shredded chicken in, a 4-quart container, because it was
Nice.
big, and I'm just going in there eating that. And it was, so anybody out there, like if you're trying to gain weight or whatever, go get a crock pot, dude, throw a bunch of meat in there. And I know there's people out there that are like, I hate crock pots, but I don't care. They work really well for food prepping and having this type of stuff. So whatever. Just
Okay, I'm gonna go off memory.
Okay, cool.
My biggest meet ever, I did 322. I went 147, 175, and I had to cut weight to make 109. I was walking around like around 111, 112. So I didn't have to cut a lot of weight, but I had to cut some.
Yeah.
I want to say it was 4 to 5 months later, I competed again. And I kind of had a plan where I knew who I was going to be competing against, and I knew I wouldn't be able to beat them. I mean, Dave Garcia, like,
yeah, I remember
USA,
this. Yeah.
like superstar.
Mhm.
And I wanted I could win an Onyx belt if I won. So I'm like, I'll make the cut.
Yeah.
But I was force feeding myself to weigh 111, 112.
Yeah.
Like,
totally.
that was not a pleasant thing. So I was realistically living around, my body was sitting at like 108. Then for that next meet, all right, I found it. So my best, where did it go? 322. I weighed in at just under 108. So I did drop a nice chunk like that day. And I remember like not eating anything that day. And I drove up to the place in my car with the heater on, the seat warmers and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up weighing 107.8. And then that was, where's that date? July. Yeah, July, I weighed that. Then in November, July 22nd, November. Oh, okay. July 22nd, I weighed in at basically 108. No, sorry, that was July. It's like all over the place here. In December, I weighed 102. I competed in the middle there.
Yeah.
But in December, so 5 months later, I weighed in at 101.75, and I went 148, 169. So I went from 322 to 317. That's totally reasonable, because from then, okay, I finished my meet. Then I was probably living at 107. So then I dropped 3 kilos and cut 2. So I didn't lose that much weight.
No,
but
you didn't.
Then when I dropped down to 94, like my best meet, I want to say it was 285, because it's not on here because they are only taking USAW stuff.
Yeah.
280, maybe 2. I went 131. I don't even know if it's that high.
Wow.
But that's almost like that was like a 19 kilo body weight change. It was over a couple of years, but still, like,
right.
The weight that I could lift was not that much. But I went 130, 141 or so. I don't even remember what I did at Worlds. But 2 weeks later, I competed and I weighed 97.8. So I put on 4 kilos and I went 295. So
this is interesting, because to me, and I've heard this quote or saying or whatever, where weight moves weight.
yeah,
it's really, I think it's true. And I've always wondered, like, is that a real statement? But, based off of what you're saying right there, like, it's so hard, because then you got these, like, 70 kilo or whatever lifters that are just throwing up weight. Like, you're like, well, how is that even happening? So I don't know, dude, that's interesting data right there.
Yeah.
I'd like to see how that works. How really it works, because, one thing about you also that kind of, throws something, a question mark in there is you're also in your 40s, like what if we took those same numbers and we put it on somebody in their 20s? Would that have the same effect on their lifting? I don't know.
And knowing that it took me 40 years to get up to like 109.
Yeah.
And then it took me 2 years to get down to 94.
Yeah. Yeah. And so if anybody's listening, the moral of that story is that nothing happens fast.
Yeah.
So nothing in this sport happens fast. And that's really all there is to it. And it takes loyalty, it takes dedication, it takes consistency. I mean, you can throw out all these like buzzwords, whatever, but in the end, we're not endorsing drugs. We're just saying do what you want to do. Just be safe and don't be stupid about it. Like, that's the thing. It's like, don't be stupid, because that's what kind of makes the sport look bad. I mean, look at CrossFit. Like everybody I got in CrossFit and they're like, you're going to get rhabdo. No, I never got it. So, but it's because people are being stupid in that sport and
I think
pushing themselves.
The one other thing, not to keep bringing this up, but with drugs, I feel like the people who are the biggest like scare tactic people are the people who haven't done any research and who don't know anything about it. And they just want to say like, we don't want people dropping dead of heart attacks just because they went on some testosterone for fun, just to see what happened. Like, we don't want people dropping dead all the time. It's like, do you have any idea? Do you have any knowledge of what this does? Like, you don't even know. Or they'll just be like, they're all just going on steroids. It's like, steroids is a very blanket term. Like, look up, give me which drug is steroid? I don't think there's a drug called steroid.
No, there's not.
Maybe I'm wrong.
That's the umbrella of all the different steroids. Yeah.
So it's like, cool. Who's that's like saying that taking some mushrooms is the same thing as doing heroin.
Yeah.
Like, you're doing drugs.
Well,
like,
yeah. And that, dude, that's a whole conversation right there, because the and I guess what I just heard you say was the reason why people are scared is because they're not educated on it. And I mean, getting educated on it is how you do that. I don't know. Go to your doctor, talk to him, see what's up there. But
like, following along with Dylan Cooper's journey, because he's very open about this stuff. It's like,
there you go.
Look at he's not just doing steroids. He's on a very scheduled out regimen. He's getting his blood work done regularly. He's telling people, hey, don't do this unless you're doing this. You don't want to just, so.
Which I really like what he's doing, because he's not hiding anything. And he's being very open about it. And what that's doing is it's creating some education around it. So hopefully, I mean, if you want the real education, I think he said in that podcast, like, I put the actual what I'm doing behind a paywall. So that way, if you really want to know, you gotta kind of pay for it and put some time and effort into it. But I like that. I like what he's doing there. Overall, again, I think that the sport is very complicated, but no matter the drugs, no matter the body weight, no matter what you're eating, no matter who your coach is, whatever, it takes time under tension, and that's all there is to it. Like, you can't cheat that. And I just, that's my personal opinion. So
no, I like that.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Cool.
Well, 49 minutes. I like it. I feel like we could probably talk forever on this. So, but we're going to call it.
I think we could keep talking about it, but we're just going to keep looping around to the same thing.
You're going to hear us say the same thing over and over. Cornell, thank you. Everybody else, thank you for listening. I do want to throw out two things before we go. One, happy birthday to Damon. If y'all know us, you know who Damon is. Damon, I know you listen to this, so happy birthday, my friend. And two, next Friday, I'm going to be doing a show with two coaches. One is a gym owner / coach. The other is a coach. We all know him as Joe. And it's going to be a live show, kind of like a little roundtable situation, just an experiment, see what happens. It might be a once a month thing. It might just be a one-off thing. So we'll see how it works. But I'll be posting questions. I'll be posting the time. It's going to be next Friday, sometime during the day. So anyways, everybody, thank you for listening. Cornell, obviously, thank you. And we'll talk to you all later. Adios.
Bye.